On a bitter February afternoon in 2004, someone watched her leave. 21-year-old Maura Murray, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, packed a small bag, closed the door to her dorm room, and stepped into the cold. She moved with purpose, though she told no one where she was going. Her final plan remained a secret, even to her friends, family, and boyfriend. Earlier in the day, she had sent an email to her professors and her supervisor. In it, she claimed a death had occurred in her family, that she needed to take a week off. But behind that pitiful message was no funeral. Her family later said nothing had happened. Still, she withdrew money, to $180, from her account at an ATM. She walked alone, captured on surveillance footage, dressed in jeans and a dark jacket. Then she drove to a liquor store. There, she bought about $40 worth of alcohol, vodka, Bailey's Irish Cream, Kalia, and boxed wine, as the security cameras quietly recorded her, alone. She might have been planning something. Or maybe she was just running away, but from what? She left Amherst between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, without telling anyone her destination. She made a call, short, to someone at a condominium complex she had found before. She asked about a rental. The person on the other end refused to rent to her. Still, she pressed on. She seemed calm, purposeful, but her mind, it felt, lay somewhere more fragile. By later that evening, she was in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The road she chose was Route 112, known as Wild Ammonoosuc Road, a remote, snow-packed stretch, tucked deep in the winter night. Around 7:27 p.m., a nearby resident heard a thump, a crash. A black 1996 Saturn had left the road and come to rest in a snowbank. The car lay pointed west, on the eastbound side of the road. A woman peered from her window and claimed she saw a figure inside. In her first statement, she said she saw a man smoking a cigarette. Later, she retracted that. She said it was a red glow, like a light, perhaps from a cell phone. But what she saw, or thought she saw, only deepened the mystery. Soon after, a school bus driver, living nearby, pulled over. He found Maura standing by her car. She looked shaken, the airbag had deployed. He asked if she needed help. Her answer was simple, quiet. No, I already called AAA. He left her momentarily to make the call from better reception. When he returned, minutes later, she was gone. By the time the police arrived, at about 7:46 p.m., Maura had vanished. The car was unlocked. Inside, officers found the wreckage of her last known moment, an empty Coke bottle with red liquid, a damaged box of wine, stains on the ceiling and the doors, her debit card, her credit cards, her cell phone, all missing. None of her personal effects had been taken. Nothing looked like a frantic escape, but she was gone, without a trace. The very next day, a be on the lookout alert went out. Maura was missing. She was last seen wearing a dark coat, jeans, and a black backpack. The backpack, later, was never found in the car. Search teams converged rapidly. Her family came in. Dogs were brought in to track her scent. One tracking dog followed a glove she had left in the car, traced the scent for 100 yards east down the roadside, then lost it entirely. It was the last concrete thread they could follow. Nothing more. Weeks turned into months. Police searched homes nearby. In the basement of a house about a mile from where her car crashed, cadaver dogs went bonkers. According to volunteers, that same house once belonged to a man whose brother would later claim to have killed Maura. In the dark heart of that basement, with ground-penetrating radar, investigators searched, digging through concrete, scanning for anything. But they found a small piece of pottery, maybe an old pipe. Nothing alive, nothing of her. On her father's doorstep arrived a gift, a rusty, stained knife. A man claimed his brother had killed Maura and buried her under his home. The story was chilling. The knife was tested, but the results never fully made public. The man who handed it over had a murky past. Some said he told the story just to get the reward money. Meanwhile, Maura's family refused to give up. Her father, Fred, pressed law enforcement. He went on television, on talk shows, demanding attention. He stood at the crash site year after year. He asked for justice, or at least an answer. For decades, volunteers, detectives, cold case teams, even retired officers returned to that snowy road again and again. Yet nothing concrete. In 2022, the FBI issued a nationwide alert, creating a profile for her, marking her as a missing person under a violent criminal profile. Speculation grew. Did she stage her disappearance, or was there something more sinister? Her family believed she was in trouble. Her sister, Julie, said Maura was struggling before she left, emotionally, mentally. There were signs. In the days before she vanished, she made strange phone calls. She sought out condo rentals in New Hampshire and Vermont, places she had no obvious reason to go. Some people think she planned this trip for weeks, maybe months. Others believe she behaved spontaneously. That night was the breaking point of many silent battles she carried with her. Her sister has publicly rejected the idea Maura would harm herself. She believes Maura was kidnapped. Rumors swirled. One theory, she got into another car. The scent trail abruptly ended. Maybe she met someone there, someone who offered help, or worse. Another idea, she wandered off into the woods. But search teams found no footprints, no sign she fired off into the forest. Some skeptics noted that the snow on the ground was unchanged, no disturbed tracks, suggesting she didn't run into the trees. There were also whispers about her personal life. She had once attended West Point. She had dreams of the mountains, of hiking. She had a boyfriend, an army lieutenant stationed far away. But despite all her ambitions, her emotional life was fragile. And then, silence. For years, every lead fizzled. Every tip came up short. The investigation grew cold. In 2019, a renewed search took place again. Cadaver dogs, radar, footprints. But state police later said there was no credible evidence of human remains in the locations they searched. Concord Monitor. Her family kept the flame alive. They raised money. They organized ground searches. They took every whisper seriously. And in the dark of winter, they refused to believe that Maura simply walked away. Over time, the online world caught hold of the case. Amateur sleuths, true crime communities, podcasts, they all debated what could have happened. Some believed she staged her disappearance. Others thought she was scared or lured. Some saw her as a victim. Others saw mistakes in law enforcement, or worse, a cover-up. But no theory has been proven. More than 2 decades after she vanished, questions still echo. Why did she lie about a death? Why did she withdraw money and buy alcohol? Why head to a remote road she never told anyone about? And most haunting, did she really tell that bus driver she had called for help when she never did? Her car remains a silent monument to her final known moment. The stains in her seat, the empty bottles, the red liquid in a bottle. They're fragments of her last known heartbeat. The road where she crashed, that desolate corner of Route 112, is now forever tied to her disappearance. Every winter, the snow falls. The silence presses in. The case remains open, cold but alive, a ghost not quieted, a daughter not found. A family still waiting. And so, the question remains, where is Montgomery?